Hello and welcome to my ICT Hub. This is John, your ICT tutor, making ICT concepts easier. Alright, today I'll be solving the database section of the May-June 2023 paper 2-2 of the IGCSE ICT examination. If you're ready, let's start. Okay, here's the question. We have the three sections: the document production, database, and presentations. I have produced a video where I solved the document production aspect. You might get a link in the description below. Also, I'm going to be dropping the questions and the source files still in the description below. All right, so let's quickly go down to what we have to do today. All right, now we are solving task 3, which is the database. You are now going to prepare some reports, which is the final output object of the database. Using database software, import the file j2322race.csv. I'm going to be making use of Access 2021. Microsoft Office Access 2021. I'll just call that, let's see, May June 23 paper 22. Okay. All right, now to import a file, you could either use the XML data, come to new file, from file, and import the text file because it's a CSV file. So we are importing the race file. I want to go race. Okay, click on that. Give that a delimiter. Ensure you select this option which says the first row rather, is the column field names. Then we move on to the next where we specify the data types. Now it says the data types, we have text, and number. Short text, number, that's a long integer. We have two numbers, 3, number, and take note, it's selected this as double. Double is a type of number. When it selects its number, it's advisable you go with it so long as it's a type of number. Don't change it to integer, because if you alter this here, it might not be able to call it back again. So leave it as double and let's move on. Then the next is date and time, and then we have text. Here we have date and time, text, short text, and we have short text. Okay, let's move on. Our primary key is the bib number as primary key. So we want to set the primary key to the bib number, which is this. And let's finish that. Okay, the table is inserted. Double click to see it. Now let's see what are the display options. Okay, here we want 3 decimal place. Here should be displayed, and this other to 0 decimal place. So let's go to now we want the first number should be an integer, the second number is an integer, the third should be in 3 decimal place. So first we change the format to fixed so that it ensures that it stays in 3 decimal place irrespective of what the number is. Even if it has like 1.0, it's going to be 1.000. It will ensure that it always has 3 decimal place. Sorry, this should be 3, not 2. So it's 3 decimal place. Okay, and let's see the date and time. Okay, should be in that format. So let's check the format. Yes. Once we are done, you want to save it, and let's go back. Okay, is it appearing in the format we want it? Yes. This is the time, this is 3 decimal place, and that's just how we want it. Okay, now let's check the question. Save the data. Place in your evidence document a screenshot showing the field names, data types, and primary key used in the table. Okay, so we want to get screenshots. Here we have the field names, the data types, and the primary key. So I'm going to be using my Windows Shift and S because I'm using a Windows system. Take that screenshot. Let's go to the evidence document and place that there. All right, let me bring that header down. Okay, that's good. Now let's go back to the question. Import the file j232 clubs.csv as a new table in your database. Set all the data types to text. Set club ID as the primary key. Then place in your evidence document screenshots showing the field names, data types, and primary key used in the table. Okay, so we are importing the clubs table. Let's save this and go back. All right, I'm going to right click here, come to my import and text file. Browse to its the clubs table. So we have a club. Okay, click on next and select the first column as the field names. It says set all the fields to short to text. So let's confirm that they are all text. Okay, it's all text. Then let's just confirm the primary key again. Club ID. The primary key should be the club ID. And we finish with that. Okay, let's check it out. All right, that's in. And just before we go, we need to take a screenshot. Windows Shift and S to give me that screenshot. Okay, then we go to the evidence document. Place there. Okay, that is saved. Now let's go back to the question. Question 17. Create a one-to-many relationship between club ID in the clubs table and the club code in the race table. Take note, the club ID in the clubs table first, then move into the club code in the race table. To create a relationship, you want to go to your database tools, click on relationship, import both tables. Okay. So let's locate the two. The club ID in the clubs table. So here we have the clubs table. This is the club ID. We are going to the club code in the race table. So here we have the club code. So I'm going to be picking from here and dropping it this. So we have a one-to-many relationship, club ID, club code, and it's created. Place in your evidence document a screenshot showing the fields and the types of relationship. So from here, this will not show us the type of relationship. You have to double click. So this dialog, sorry, I didn't get on it. Okay, yeah, that's it. You can bring it down here and let's do a screenshot, the Windows Shift and S key to get that screenshot, one-to-many relationship, and drop that. Step 17. Okay, good. I'm going to bring that title down. I like when it is very visible so your graders can see properly everything. You give the screenshot, let it to be bold. Now, question 18 says, create a columnar data entry form with all the fields in the race table to display one record at a time. Apply two different formatting features to this form to improve the design. The race table. Okay, so we go back. We want to create a form. Go to our form as our form wizard. Now you're using the race table. This is the club, so change the race table. Pick all the fields. Click next. It's a columnar form, and you want to finish. All right, so now that's the form. It says we should apply two different formatting features to this form to improve the design. Okay, now this is a form that should be used to edit or enter records. It would be nice if it is the field sizes to start with are appropriate. Then the title J21 race is not a good title. Then also even the field names, the labels here, you might want to improve on them, make it bold. Then you might have navigation buttons. So let me just add all of that. So to do that, I'm going to go to my form design. First, I might want to call this as a race detail or something. Race form. Okay, get an appropriate text, a race detail or race form. Then the size of this should. So I'm going to hold down my shift key and I'm going to just use my up arrow to do that, to resize it. So I'm going to resize them accordingly to the same here. Okay, good. The looks more appropriate this way. I want to close up the spaces to make it let's close up the space. Okay, now the same we'll do for this. Okay, then for this other ones also. And I'm going to do the same here. All right, now the spacing has been closed up better. Then, like I said, the labels on this aspect, I can make them look bold, make it stand out so that we could know what the labels are. You could give, let's go to the home and enhance on the fonts, make it bold. You want to make it a little bit bigger, font size of 12, so it stands out properly that way. Then navigation buttons could also be added, like the new, the next. So I'm going to, still on my design view, I'm going to come to your form design, and let's insert navigation buttons, which is this. Okay, so there I have my button. I might want to insert the previous, the next, and the new form. So I could just make this, call it for the navigation. I want to go to the next record, so go using the next record. Or no, let's start with the previous record. I like to use an image, go with that. Previous record, yeah, and just finish with that. Insert another button, could just represent the next record. Okay, that's could go for the next record. Basically, what you need is just two, but I'm trying to show you number of things you could do at the same time, and we could add one more button for a new record. Just add it at the middle there. Call it new record. Okay, to open a new record there. Sorry, that was next, not new record. If you check the other categories, you want to get a new record, to duplicate, no, you want, okay, to create the form. The form, I think I've passed it. Okay, yeah, that's it. So add a new record, we have this here. So we have new record. I might want to call that, use the text instead and just call it new form. Yes, click next, and then you could finish there. So that way, those are features that you can add to enhance the form. Let's check it out in the form view. Okay, here we have it in the form view, and that's more than 2 features. Now it says use the form created in step 18 to add the following data as a new record. Okay, so let's text our button. If I have a new form, and there it goes, it blanks it out. So for a new record, you will be typing this in your examination, so please ensure that you type it accurately. Let me populate this records quickly into my form. Alright, so paste that there. I'm gonna just copy this and paste that there. Copy this and paste that there. Copy this, paste it there. Copy this. So while typing, please check and be sure that your details, your data is accurately imputed. Okay, and that is in. This place in your evidence document is screenshots of the form with the new record displayed and showing the formatting features applied in step 18. Okay, so we have the new record here. Let's do a screenshot. Okay, and we're gonna do like this, yes, for the features, and we're gonna place that in your evidence document. Okay, very well. I'm take this down. Okay, seems like my diagrams are quite big. All right, let's save that and ensure that it's been updated into the race form. I want to close the race form and open it again. All right, so we have a form. Let's go back to the question. Okay, now it's time for the reports. It says using fields from both tables, produce a tabular report that selects the records where area ends with the text land, category is junior or master, and shows only the fields first name, last name, gender, category, area, country, and race time in this order, with data labels displayed in full. Do not group the data. Now sort the data into ascending order of category, has a page orientation of portrait, fits on a single page, not white, just single page, includes only the title, master and junior, displayed in large fonts, font size, fully visible at the top of the page, and has your name, center number, candidate number at the on the report. Save and print the report. Okay, to do this, we're going to start first with a query. Let's generate a query to give us, we create a query using the query design. Okay, pick from both tables. All right, we have both tables there. Now let's pick the necessary fields. All right, so it says first name, last name, gender, category. So we go there for the first name, last name, double click, last name, gender. I think I have my gender here. This category, there's no gender with, okay, gender, category. All right, then, sorry. We have area, country, and race time. So we have area here. Wait, we have area here. Is it area? Okay, area, yes. Area, country, and then the race time. Okay, beg your pardon, all of that. So let's run it to see the details. Okay, yes, it's properly entered. Next, you want to take the condition. After bringing in the required fields, then you want to run the condition. It says area ends with the text land. Now if it's ending with the text, so it's going to have the asterisk before it. Let me zoom in my windows and my plus key. Under the area in the criteria section, you're going to have like, you have your quotes, you have your asterisks. Sorry, what was that again? It ends with land. Sorry for the view, just so you can see properly. I have land, and you don't need the asterisk again because it is ending with land. So the asterisk there runs for anything before land. Okay, so let's take away this. Then we go back. It says junior is, sorry, the category is junior or master. Now since this is it's not more like part of a word, so we are just going to drop it there directly. Category, this is country. Now the category section, just going to paste this there, and you can see there's picked it junior or master. So let's run it and see. Okay, there we have just 32 records. It's been filtered, so we want to save that as query 1. Then we're going to use it to create the reports. Using the report wizard, pick all the fields from there, click next. You don't want it grouped. This way it's not grouped. If you use this is a grouped data and you are told not to group the data. You still don't want it grouped. Now I don't advise you sort here, because if you sort, it's going to distort the arrangement, the order of the fields. So also the orientation from the question is portrait. So we finish up with that. Okay, now we're here. It's in the print preview. You want to close this. Let's make all the changes quickly. In the layout view, I'm going to have my sort ascending order of category. Click on your group and sort from this report layout design. Add your sort category ascending order. By default, it picks the ascending order first, then the descending is below. So this has been selected as the ascending order of category. You want to just click on this tool to turn that off back. Then it should have a title of this. Okay, let's place that in the title. Right. And before we go, says your name, center number, candidate number. We do that. You have to do that in the design view. in the report, the page footer. Now here we have a detail here. You want to take this out, take it out, then go to your report design, pick a label, not the text box, a label, paste it there, insert your details, center number, and then your candidate number. All right, now let's take a look at it in the layouts. The print preview, is it one page? Yes, it's one page. Now, so that's accurately done. But before we go, we need to ensure that all labels are displayed in full. So if I go back to my, sorry, not to print, close the print preview, let's go to layout view. You can see it's not all fully visible. So let's begin the adjustment to ensure that we can maximize space. You can use your arrow keys, works faster for me. And you can hold down the shift to resize with the arrow keys. You can click on this together. Right, move that in. Ensure nothing is cut. Okay, they're all fully visible. We can move this in also. Alright, it's fully visible. I could still reduce the size if I want to. Just ensure it's all fully visible. Then I can bring in this too. Hold down the shift and then enlarge it to the right. Okay, so everything is fully visible. Let's take a look at it. First name, last name, gender, category, area, country, and the race time. And they are all fully visible with your details. So let's go to a print preview. Okay, and that is done. So you could just print this. Let's print it to PDF and call that printout 2. Okay, now let's go back to the question. The next second form says use fields from both tables, produce a tabular report. Once again, we're going to start first with the required fields. But there's a unique thing here. In this one, you are creating a new field. It says contains a new field called LPF unit, which is calculated at runtime. This field will calculate the race time multiplied by the LPF ratio. That's the race time is a field multiplied by the LPF ratio, which is also a field. Format this field to display time as in that format. Okay, let's pick first. We start with the query design to pick all the required fields in a query. So let's go back and create a query. Pick a query design. Pick both tables. Okay, then we can close the property sheet for now. Double click on this so it's fully visible. Okay, now let's pick the required fields. To start with, we have the bib number, gender, YOB, and category. Okay, let's look for that. So we have the bib number, gender, followed by YOB, category, and LPF ratio. Gender followed by YOB, category, and LPF ratio. Where do we have LPF ratio? Is here. Okay, is that YOB, category, LPF ratio? We have club name, country, and race time. Club name is somewhere here, country, and then we have the race time somewhere here. Where is that? Okay. And now lastly is the new field which we are to create, LPF units. Uplift, sorry, I beg your pardon. So to do that, we are going to right click here and use the build function. And the build function is going to help us to write out that expression, which says it's going to be the race time multiplied by the LPF ratio. Let me zoom in so you can see this better. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, now let's open up the tables. From the race, we need the race time. It says multiplied by, which is an asterisk, the LPF ratio. Let's confirm that once again. It says the race time multiplied by the LPF ratio, and that's what we have here. When you are done, you click on OK. Then for the name here, it's written EX let me run this first so you can see. Let's run this now. Okay, now you can see the view. Let's return back and let's work on the property sheet. You need to turn on the property sheet and change the format to long time. Okay, here we don't have a long time. We want to type that. Once you can see that, you can just type what it should be. Long time. Let's run it again. Exactly, and that's what we have here. But if you take a look at the label, it's not the label we want. We want an LPF uplift. So let me zoom in and show you what to do. So here you leave the colon, take out everything before the colon, and replace it with the label, the LPF uplifts. And with that, you can run it, and you're going to see it done. Okay, now once we've done that, the next thing is now to come to this criteria. It says country code is GBR, YOB is 1960 or earlier. So first, let's go to the country code. We go back to design view. The country code is DBR. You can do this both in the design view and in the datasheet view. But let me do the design view first, then I'm going to come back to do the datasheet view. Or let's start with the datasheet view, sorry. It says country code is GBR. For the country code being GBR, we're going to look for the country code. Okay, all right. Here we don't have the country code. This is good. It wasn't one of the required fields. So to do that, we have to include it, but exclude it when creating the report. So I go back to my design view. I'm going to pick the country code. Okay, then let me run it again. So my country code is GBR. So all I want is just GBR. I could go equals to GBR. Okay, run that. And this is 1960 or earlier. So if it is 1960 or later, it's going to be higher, but earlier is going to be less than 1960. So that's the YOB. So I come to YOB. Number filter is going to be less than or equals to 1960. And here I have the filtered 42 records. Now, one of the things about using the datasheet view is once you are done doing this, you do not return back to your design view. Else, everything you have done will be undone. It will undo everything you have done and return back to the unfiltered state. But now I've done this here. Let me go to design view and do it also in the design view. Now here in the design view, first I want my country code to be GBR. So in the criteria section, I'm just going to type GBR. Then for the YOB, says the YOB is greater, should be 1960 or earlier. So that's going to be less than or equals to 1960. Now let's run that and see. Yes, we came back with the same number of records. That's 42 records. So with this, if you write this, let's save the query. If you write the expression from the design view, no matter the number of times you go to design view and return, it's still going to give you the same thing. That's why it's kind of preferable you learn how to write those expressions in the design view. But nevertheless, if you get stuck with it, you can always use your datasheet view. But just remember, when you are done, save it from this interface and make sure you move from here to the report. Okay, let's now generate the report. So we create the report wizard. Okay, we are using the query. Remember, we added one more thing that was not included. This is query 2 now. Okay, we are using query 2. We added the country code which was not included. We only used it to filter. So we're going to drop that back and let's move on. Make sure it's not grouped. Okay, then we do not sort here. Our orientation is going to be landscape. Let's confirm that. Orientation of landscape. Click on next, and then we finish. Okay, here we have our report. Once again, before we do anything, let's quickly go to our design and finish up. All right, it says sorts the data into ascending order of country and descending order of LPF ratio. So I could, even from the design view, go to my group and sort, ascending order of country. So click on country. By default, it will pick the ascending order. Add another sort, LPF ratio, but this time it should be the descending order. Okay, once that is done, the next thing is fits on a single page wide, which we've seen that includes only this as a title. So you're going to highlight this. Normally you should type that into the title. I'm pasting this. Then calculate the longest race time and places this at the end of the report. I like doing this. You can do it from design view. I kind of like it in the layout. It says the longest race time. So now we need the race time. I might need to do this adjustment now so we can see the race time. So let's go to our group and sort and turn this off. Let's adjust this a little. So we can see here we have our race time. We are still going to come back to readjust, but just so we could. Okay, now that is visible. Okay, good. We don't have any overlap. Now we want to get the longest race time. If you come here to write the expression, to right click, we have our totals here where we could have that calculation. But if you take a look at, we have some average, the max, which is supposed to be the longest race time, is not active. So what do? I just advise you click on count records and we can go and rewrite that expression in the design view. Now here you have design view, it's to count this record, but right, actually what we want is the maximum, the longest race time. So you're just, let me zoom in. I'm going to change this from count to max. And then I'm going to change the asterisk to the field. If you're writing a field, you're going to be using square brackets. Okay, race underscore time, and close it with my square brackets. Right, once you write that expression, let's check it back and let's see if it's going to give us a value. Okay, yes, there it is, the longest race time. Okay, now let's continue the question. After calculating that, it should be longest race time placed. You should place this at the end of the report, fully visible and right aligned with the race time in the race time column. Race times in the race time column. Now let's go and it says has the label longest race time fully visible to the left of this value. Okay, we have the value here. We can't place this here, it's going to distort it. So we go to our design view. In our design view, where you have the expression, you place a label to the left of this value, something like that, and paste it there. Okay. Has your name, center number, candidate number, the footer of the report, so it appears in the same position on every page. So here in the report, in the page footer, it's only your name that should be there. You can insert a label. Please take note there's a difference between the report footer and the page footer. The report footer is where calculations or details from the reports is going to be dropped, but the page footer is where your details below the page, like just the way we have it on any page footer document like in MS Word. You say we have your center number and then your candidate number placed there. Okay, now having done that, say save and print your report. Place in your evidence document screenshots showing the database formula used to calculate the longest race time. Okay, so let's need this to be fully visible. Pardon, let's zoom in to make it easier for us to see what we are doing. Okay, no, that's not what I want. Just want to expand this. Okay, so we can do a screenshot of that. Let's Windows Shift and S, and I could just do a screenshot of that. Basically, it's just the expression that is necessary. Once they can get out what they want from the grading, this is it. You're good to go. Alright, so before we leave, go back to your layout view and check to be sure everything is fully visible. Okay, it still fits on one page wide. Okay, we have a lot of space here we can play around with. I want to just reduce this, take it out. Okay, like you can see the labels here is not fully visible, so I want to make this. Okay, move this out a little. I'm using my arrow keys and the shift key to adjust, the arrow key to move it. So here I have my category. I move it with the arrow key, adjust, holding down the shift key. Let's ensure that nothing cuts off. Okay, then I can move this, also make it visible. Okay, now pick it with this and then adjust this. So you can see when you're adjusting it. Okay, I want to make this just to be sure nothing cuts. Let's check through again. Okay, so it's all fully visible. Let's make this smaller. Bring this in. Alright, all the countries in overlap and they're all fully visible. Okay, once you are sure of that everything is fully visible, I think that's about it. The next thing is to check it in the print preview, and let's final thing, which is to print it out. Okay, now let's go to my print preview. Okay, this is one page. It's one page wide, yes. Okay, just 2 pages and 1 page wide. All right, once that is done, let's print it out in PDF. It should be print out 3, I think, yes. Print out 3. So we could take a look at what it looks like there. Print out 3, and that it is. There it is, your name. We have longest read time below this. Very well done. Now let's finish up. Is there any other? I think that's the last question there. Okay, once we are done with that, we come to the end of this aspect. That's the database. If you like what you've watched, I would appreciate if you can subscribe to my channel, hit the like button and the navigation bell so that when I release another video, you will be notified. Remember, I always advise, learn to practice. Practice this on your own. The more you practice, the better you get at doing it, and the faster and more confident you become. Wish you all the best in your examinations. Until I see you in my next video, stay safe.